Hello students, Mr. King here. I am going to be walking you through Lab 2 of Physical Geography 2. So, what I want you to do is open up your lab manuals, or if you have a PDF of the manual, please go to page 13, and we are going to start going through this lab manual. Now, a lot of the things I'm about to do are going to vary just a little bit from what you're going to see in here, so please follow along with the video, and I have outlined here on the side the things that we're going to do as we go. Alright, so a topographic map is a way to show features of an area. That might seem very simple, but because it is. This is a great way for a map to very simply communicate the details of the map to the people who are trying to read it. So the first part of the lab that we're going to talk about is latitude and longitude. Now, you may have encountered latitude and longitude in Physical 1, but if you did not take the class, let me give you a very brief rundown. So latitude lines run laterally along the Earth's surface. They are horizontal, and these measure north to south. So remember, the lines that run horizontally measure north to south. Again, I know there are many things that we've talked about in the first lab when it comes to maps, especially with scale, that you hear something that is inverse or not quite as it sounds, and this is one of those things where you will have the lateral lines that are actually measuring up to down. So be sure you remember that. Longitude lines run the length of the Earth. So those are the lines that run north to south, and the latitude and longitude lines allow you to accurately find a location on Earth if you were to give someone, or if you were to receive those coordinates. So I want to show you the Jacksonville quadrangle, and the quadrangle has latitude and longitude lines on it. You will see these here. You will see even smaller breakdown of the lines that we will get to. But up at the top corner, and you will find that on page 14 of your lab manual, up in the top corner you will see that it shows you the exact latitude and longitude of that point at the top corner. So, you will see that for the top corner, you will have 85 degrees by 52 minutes and 30 seconds west. So you will see that right over here, far end. And you will have 33 degrees, 52 minutes, and 30 degrees north. You will find that also at the top. Okay, so that tells you that this area, which does show Jacksonville, is at 85 degrees west and 33 degrees north, or that's notated backwards there. But that is what the map is trying to communicate to you. Now, this map, you may hear this quadrangle referred to as a 7-minute series. So what that means is that the 7-minute series means that each section of this map, whether it be left to right, top to bottom, is 7 minutes. So when we talk about the 7-minute series, we know, again, as I just stated, that is 7 minutes both north to south and east to west. And this makes up a part of the quadrangle. That is what that map is. You should have a PDF copy of this map. Sadly, we can't have you in here to have these maps, or else I could hand each of you one, and they're much easier to read. But these quadrangles are a really good way to show you the topography of an area. Okay, we'll get back to locating points. Again, the topography of an area can show you many different details. Now, on this one, you're going to get to see along the outer edges of the map, you are going to notice that there are many different notations of numbers. So, the Jacksonville quadrangle, you will have this in front of you. You should have a PDF version, and this is the 7.5-minute series quadrangle. So what a 7.5-minute series means is that this is measured 7.5 minutes from top to bottom and side to side. Now, this one blew my mind when I realized it, but this distance is the same in degrees as this distance. Okay, so the 7.5-minute series means that at the bottom we have, and we're going to go north to south, or south to north here, 33 degrees by 45 minutes. But then at the top it says 33 degrees, 52 minutes and 30 seconds. So the difference between those is 7.5 minutes. So that tells you, if you see something that says it's a 7.5 minute series, that means that that is the distance in a square that it is. Now this isn't square, but it measures the same distance in degrees from side to side and top to bottom. Okay, so this again shows you the topography of the area. Now topography is very important. Again, we showed you elevation. You can see important areas, like here we have Jacksonville over here to the side. Now, if you remember from the first lecture, I told you all that the date is very important. So right now, this map is not a very accurate picture of Jacksonville, as this is from 1971, so it's almost 50 years old. But the topography of the area, the overall elevations, have probably not changed all that much, but the man-made structures and areas and zoning probably has changed quite a bit. So this is what the quadrangle will show you. That is the topography of an area. It is the stuff, the information the map shows you. Okay, so now that we're done with the quadrangle, that takes us through quadrangle, and now we're going to talk about locating points. And we touched on topography, so if you're following along, we are now through that section. We're going to backtrack here to locating points. So in the lab manual, when you do the lab, it will ask you to determine the lat long of certain points on the map. So what you're going to have to do is, this requires a little bit of sleuthing on your part. You're going to have to go through that map and find the points on there that they want you to provide the lat long for. So those points, you are going to first, lat long is notated from north and then east or west, or you always go the up to down measurement before you go the left to right measurement, north to south or east to west. That's what I'm trying to say. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the quadrangle and you're going to search for these points, and you are going to determine, and I'll give you a little freebie here, this all takes place with 33 degrees and 85 degrees. That does not change. That does not change at any point. The first number, when it asks you for your answer on that, will always be 33 degrees and 85. You will have to come up with the minutes and seconds. And again, you will see the minutes and seconds, sorry, the minutes notated on the side of the map or on the bottom. And it will be up to you to determine the approximate area in seconds. There is a section in here in the lab manual from page 16 to 21. From pages 16 to 21. Don't bother. So, do not bother with that. And instead, we are going to provide 3 separate questions on your lab that will be about finding elevation. That'll be about finding elevation. So, numbers 3, 4, and 5. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 on your lab, I would like you to find elevation. So I will give you a very brief tutorial on elevation. So the lines on the map that you see that are very squiggly, right? You will see some a vast concentration of squiggles right here, but these have meaning. These all have meaning. So these tell you the elevation on the map. You will also get to these in a future lab when you get into contour lines, but this will briefly touch on those. And each one of these lines that are in brown are a contour line. These come in 2 forms. You have these very thin brown lines, okay? But then you have these thicker ones. And if you see a thicker brown line, that denotes every 100, I think this is taken in meters, and I'm holding the map upside down. It's taken in meters, I believe, or feet. And then the thinner lines are every 20. So you will hear this term again in a few labs, but your contour interval is 20 feet. So if you find a location in between, let's say, 400 and 420, or 420 and 440, you will know that it is somewhere in between those two. And you will use those thicker lines as a great basis for you to understand whether things are going up or down. So, for number 3, 4, and 5, on your hand-in assignment, I would like you instead to not find the USPLS description, I would like you instead to find the elevation. To find the elevation. Again, on your hand-in assignment that we will grade and you will hand in to us, we would like you to find 3, 4, and 5. You find their elevation. All right. And that handles that. So, if you have any questions, feel free to contact your lab instructor. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in another video.